I found a video by a YouTuber calling themselves MTC Strength 33. It's called Atheistic Morality. It's part of a clues series. He thinks he has some clues to the existence of God. One of those clues seems to come from Francis Collins' book, The Language of God. It's a God of the Gaps argument about where does morality come from. Towards the end of his preachy little lecture, he made this utterly clueless statement.
Question to you. Genocide, impractical, self-defeating, or wrong? Nazis exterminating Jews. They didn't feel it was immoral, but the truth is we don't care. It was wrong. If you want to go on YouTube and say that genocide and mass murder of a group of people because of their belief system is right, if it helps the species evolve, well then go ahead. But the truth is, you won't. Why? Because it's wrong.
MTC Strength, I have a question for you. Have you ever read the Bible? Did you know that God himself ordered genocide? And genocide against people because of their beliefs?
The Lord said to Moses, "Take vengeance on the Midianites for the Israelites. After that, you will be gathered to your people." So Moses said to the people,
"Arm some of your men to go to war against the Midianites, so that they may carry out the Lord's vengeance on them. Send into battle 1,000 men from each of the tribes of Israel."
So 12,000 men armed for battle, 1,000 from each tribe were supplied from the clans of Israel. Moses sent them into battle, 1,000 from each tribe, along with Phinehas, son of Eleazar, the priest, who took with him articles from the sanctuary, and the trumpets for signaling. They fought against Midian as the Lord commanded Moses, and killed every man. Among their victims were Evi, Rechem, Zur, Hur, and Reba, the 5 kings of Midian. They also killed Balaam, son of Beor, with the sword. The Israelites captured the Midianite women and children, and took all the Midianite herds, flocks, and goods as plunder. They burned all the towns where the Midianites had settled, as well as all their camps. They took all the plunder and spoils, including the people and animals, and brought the captives, spoils, and plunder to Moses and Eleazar the priest, and the Israelite assembly at their camp on the plains of Moab by the Jordan, across from Jericho. Moses, Eleazar the priest, and all the leaders of the community went to meet them outside the camp. Moses was angry with the officers of the army, the commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds, who returned from the battle.
"Have you allowed all the women to live?"
he asked them.
They were the ones who followed Balaam's advice and enticed the Israelites to be unfaithful to the Lord in the Peor incident, so that a plague struck the Lord's people. Now kill all the boys, and kill every woman who has slept with a man, but save for yourselves every girl who has never slept with a man.
If you want to go on YouTube and say that genocide and mass murder of a group of people because of their belief system is right,
and kill every woman who has slept with a man, but save for yourselves every girl who has never slept with a man.
do you believe that animals have rights? Many of you would say, of course we believe animals have rights. Okay.
Yet, for some reason, despite the God of the Bible supposedly being all-powerful, he needed his followers to kill and burn animals for him in order for him to forgive them. Exodus 20:24. You must build an altar for me made out of dirt. Sacrifice your burnt offerings and your fellowship offerings, your sheep, goats, and cattle on it. And Hebrews 9:22. As Moses' teachings tell us, blood was used to cleanse almost everything, because if no blood is shed, no sins can be forgiven. And several times throughout Leviticus 1-9, it is a burnt offering, an offering by fire, a soothing aroma to the Lord. That's right, God finds the smell of burning animals soothing. But it doesn't stop there.
You hold animals guilty of violating their rights, in which other animals, if they're stronger, for example, ate the weaker ones. Do you hold those animals accountable for doing so?
Cute little puppy that unfortunately is probably peeing in your house. So we want to try to put that to an end pretty soon here. Shoving their nose in excrement of any kind is very unhelpful, and punishment in the way of yelling, spanking, or hitting them with a newspaper, all of those things that were done in the 50s and 60s, they do not work. They make your dog end up being a very scared, submissive dog when it otherwise wouldn't be.
Eats a antelope, we don't hold the lion accountable for destroying the life of somebody that was inferior or innocent. Following me? Okay, so we have to agree then that only human beings, in our eyes, are guilty if they trample on the weak. Yes? Only human beings. Animals we don't hold that same accountability for.
The chickens are probably the most abused animals on the face of the planet. They are crammed into filthy sheds by the tens of thousands, immersed in their own excrement among the corpses of other birds who died of heart attacks or stress. Some even die of starvation brought on by becoming crippled from growing so large, so fast that their legs can't withstand the weight, which makes them unable to reach food. After being genetically manipulated and fed antibiotics to promote unnaturally rapid growth, their hearts, lungs, and legs often break down under the added weight.
We are expected not to act as was natural to the rest of the animal world.
What that means, though, I think, unfortunately, is that many people seem to think that their humanness doesn't need to be won and cultivated and achieved. Right? There's a great line that says the human isn't something that we discover, it's something that we strive for, and it's something that we hope to cultivate. The desire to cultivate oneself by a yearning toward some image that we have of who we ought to be, this seems so different than some notion of I am who I am because of my genetic history. And I'm not trying to deny the genetic history. I don't think anybody wants to deny the science of it. That's not the point at all. The point is are there many people who now neglect how much they're going to have to win their humanity? Could it be the case that there will be a rise of barbarism, savagery, lapses into animality, and the lapse into animality a kind of disregard for what's most dignifying about the human condition will be possible because people imagine that humanity is assured, that it's somehow been guaranteed by the genes, as if humanity isn't the striving for humanity.